You know, the bluebonnets are peaking right now. It's April 12th, 2023, and I wish my whole yard looked like this, but unfortunately, the deer have trampled the bluebonnets this year. So you see, there's a few bluebonnets over there, right? There's a few. The bluebonnets are really just existing where the deer don't trample them. Every day I come out here, there's another bluebonnet trampled by the deer. Now the good thing is, I don't know if you can see it, but there are butterflies all over the yard, which is exactly what this was built for. So yeah, I'm kind of liking that. Let's go walk and see what we got here. I mean, this is the yard should be maturing this year. Everything should be maturing. Got a couple of Mexican mint marigolds here that I think I'm gonna move. Honestly, they just don't like the summer here by themselves, and so I think I'm moving those Mexican mint marigolds. Also got a how about we zoom out there? Got a Mexican oregano here, another Mexican oregano, and I thought I had a third one in here too, but I guess not. I'm gonna move those guys too, because the Pride of Barbados is really taking over this bed. The Pride of Barbados and the Mexican bush sage are killing it here. They're doing really well, so I think I'm gonna let them have it, and it'll be a summer garden. Yeah, you can see the lawn's a little long. That's just so the bluebonnets can grow. Here we have El Dorado sage, Texas sage, leucanthum, and behind it is a Mexican willow. Beautiful, beautiful tree. Whenever it blooms, requires no care. None of this garden requires any care, any water, or anything. Over here is a canyon sage, Salvia microphylla. These were grown from cuttings. You can see that there's two slightly different trees. There's one there, or shrubs, one there and one there. But these were grown from cuttings, and it's my favorite, one of my favorite plants, these Texas sages. They're beautiful. I love the silver. I love the way it pops against the deep green. And again, they require like 5-6 inches of rain a year, so that's wonderful. Walking through here, got a bunch of Mexican bush sages over here. Don't have Alyssa's a little boot up yet because she just made rosettes. This is a green cloud Texas sage, so you know, similar to those. There's 3 Texas sages here in the front yard, 3 different ones. And the green cloud is supposed to get tall, but it's just getting fat. That is a fat sage. I mean, that thing's wider than it is tall. I want taller than wide, but whatever. I like the Texas sage. You know, these are all Salvia greggii. I grew all of these from cuttings. There's about, you can't really see them because I cut all the ones in the back, but there's almost 20 of them here, maybe 15. And as you can see from this little guy, pollinators sure like them. And flame acanthus over here. Kind of looks like there's a verbena growing up. There is. Oh my gosh. That's a verbena. I did have verbena planted there one time, but it was red. I guess like 5 years ago. It'd be very interesting to see if that comes back up. I mean, it's a spring garden, right? So this kind of stuff going everywhere. Right there is and you can see them all over the place, all over the place. These are standing cypress. They take 3 years to grow from seed. This one's 1 year old right there. It's a 1 year old plant, believe it or not. And they will eventually get nice and tall. These will bloom here later this year. And no, they'll get about 4 feet tall and just beautiful. Hummingbirds fight over them. Love them. This is a Mexican hat. I don't know if you can really see it right there. It's a Mexican hat. It's the only one I got. I can't seem to get any others to grow. I try and put the seeds out, but they just won't take off. It's funny how plants work. This was made for the standing cypress. None of them actually grow here. When I put seeds here, they don't grow here. They love it over there. So whatever. I'm just going to fill this with plumbago. Let the plumbago cascade over. And that's what this is here. Whole bunch of plumbagos. I don't know, there's like 6, 7, 8 of them. There's a whole bunch of plumbagos here. So definitely going to let these cascade over. And the yellow thing there you can see is a Jerusalem sage in full bloom. One of my favorites. Love that thing. And of course the Yucca rostrata. This Yucca rostrata got aphids on it really bad. Oh, it looks like they're back. It has aphids really bad. You can see them. Oh, great, I just stepped in an anthill. Perfect. Yeah, you can see the aphids on here. So I've got to go get some ladybugs or something. I got to do something because I'm not letting that thing die. And here we go. Larkspur. One of my favorites. I've really tried to get this to grow, and it only seems to like this spot. I've put these seeds all over, and it grows right here. That's about it. You know, typically it gets more sun. Like when they're just starting, they get more sun. But, you know, at some point, the sun moves for the summertime, and they get more shade during the day. But gosh, look at them. Isn't that just beautiful? Really, really nice. I will say this, I don't see a lot of pollinators on the larkspur. This is a pollinator garden, and there are not pollinators on the larkspur, really. Here we go. Little living fence here. Pittosporum. Another pittosporum that didn't make it. The variegated ones didn't seem to make it through the cold. So I guess I'm done with variegated ones. Put 2 variegated ones there, and I think I'm not going to do that anymore. Yeah, so that's the fence right there. Eve's necklace. This thing is, I don't know, at least 6 years old. I mean, that's it. That's all I got out of a 6-year-old tree. This is, I'm glad I only bought a couple of them just to try it because they're very thin. This thing really looks like it's hurting. I mean, still quite a bit of freeze damage, but you know, it's coming out. And then this Yopon. You know, this Yopon was almost dead when I moved it here. It was in the backyard. I've had so many things in the backyard, but just too much shade. It's killing it here. It grew here and laid over. So you can see how it laid over there. So I'm really hoping it'll root like over here or something so that I could get another one. Beautiful, beautiful shape to it. I mean, you can just see how it's growing like this, all out like this, and it's beautiful. And it's finally getting big too. Now here we have American Beautyberry, one of my favorites. Love this thing in the fall, like maybe September, October-ish. Everywhere you see little rocks is a chili patine. I've got 10 chili patines here. Love me some chili patines. That's what we flavor our. When I'm cooking, I don't use a lot of black pepper. I use a little bit of black pepper for flavor, and then I use chili patines for heat. So we've got a whole bunch of them over here. Also, I invested in some Texas betony this year. I'm just having a hard time, you know, finding out where this thing likes to live, but it sure seems to like this spot right here. So got a little one right here. I'm not sure why that whole plant died, but it is coming back, so that's positive. And then this and this one here. So I got 3 of them. I pinned one down over here, hoping it would grow, and it didn't. So yeah, it is what it is over here. But I want to fill this area with this Texas betony. It's not a big bloom, but the hummingbird scouts look for this bloom, which is the reason I want it. I want the hummingbirds to come to my yard first. And now we have a mountain laurel. These again were mountain laurels planted from seed by Crystal before she died. And this tree is 4 or 5 years old now. I mean, it's starting to age, which is positive. It's also starting to put on some height. This might actually bloom next year, maybe. Actually, no, it's not gonna. They put on their blooms already. They'll probably put on their blooms already for next. Yeah, probably not. But it's coming, really coming. You can see how far apart they are. They'll grow together nicely. finish up this little screen. I need a screen there. Agarita. Boy, this Agarita's loving life. First couple years, it was pretty shady back here. But after the ice storm, I mean, you can see all the light. We've never had this much light back here. After the ice storm, a lot of limbs fell down. And so this Agarita's killing it right now. I mean, it's never gotten much more sun than this. So pretty happy about that. Another mountain laurel here. The whole goal, and again planted by Crystal, mountain laurel. The whole goal here is to fill in this space. It'll eventually be this big. That mountain laurel will be that big. And then this mountain laurel will be this big. Will be that big. So you'll be able to see out the windows. You'll have a little tree here for a screen, but it's also going to hide most of the foundation. The red tips have really grown up and not out, so there's a lot of foundation exposure, and that's kind of what I'm trying to hide. Here's the back side of the garden. This crepe myrtle here is toast. I think the crepe myrtle is the source of the aphids, so I'm pulling it out as soon as possible. And the aphids, again, are eating my yucca rostrata, and I want my yucca rostrata. I don't want the crepe myrtle. This is a black and blue sage, which is a cultivar of majestic sage. This stuff's killing it now. I put 5 plants in here, and it is just going nuts. Love this, love this, love this. It is so awesome. It looks really nice whenever it blooms, and it's just filling in nicely. You can see the sabal minors here. Got several sabal minors. This one I bought big. I actually spent some money on this sabal minor. This is one of the few plants I spent money on because they grow so slow. I think I paid like $50 for this or something. Most of them I get, or no, it was maybe like $75. Most of the plants I get are cuttings. I don't have a lot of money to spend on that. This is where my little doggie is buried, right under there. We have 2 dogs buried under there. And I planted a tree right next to it. Hopefully in the next 6 years, this tree will get big enough that no one will ever dig up this spot. That was my goal. No one's going to plant anything on the north side of this tree, I don't think, especially when it gets big enough. So before I leave, I'm going to put a massive rock there and maybe bury it about a foot so that if anyone decides to dig there, they're just met with a huge, massive rock. Try and keep my little buddy under there. This is Jerusalem sage again. Love, 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 love Jerusalem sage. One of my favorite blooms. This stuff, whenever you touch it, it kind of smells like soap. You can see all the pollinators. When I come out here in the middle of the night and shine my light over here, it is like a World War II aerial battle is happening. There is so much activity around this plant. It is crazy. Oh, look. Cool. Another little honeybee action there. Very good. A few bluebonnets here. Even have a Mexican bush sage, a little bloom in there. This whole row is Mexican bush sage, all up and down here. A little flame acanthus here. And I was not expecting this. This is, I thought only a fall bloomer. This is fragrant mist flower. And it's pretty big. There's 1 or 2 plants here. I don't even like the way this smells, to be honest. I only have it here because there's one butterfly that only feeds on this thing. It's the only thing they eat. And it's a stunningly beautiful butterfly too. It's really big. I think it's a black swallowtail or something. So I have it here right by the front door. But honestly, I don't even like this plant. I mean, it's whatever. I don't even like the smell or anything. So it's here for the pollinators. On the corners, just to add a little texture, I have succulents. I have succulent planters here. And you can see these have been here a while. These have survived the freezes, believe it or not. I cannot believe that these succulents have survived the freezes. I'm very, very impressed. See, it's flowering right now. Another succulent on the corner over here. This succulent pot is not doing as well. I think it'll come back. Oh, not gonna come back. We got this guy here though, eating on the succulents. Well, here's what we do with snails. Now that guy is fertilizer for us. That's what we do with snails, little chunks of fertilizer. So you see this succulent here? That was not covered during the freeze, and it made it. This succulent was not covered during the freeze, and it made it. This succulent, those succulents were not covered during the freeze, and they made it. See those? So yeah, maybe I could get a cool little garden going here with just succulents. Kind of cool. This, when I have too many, I throw them in this corner because it seems to be like a tropical area, a subtropical thing going on. And you can see the Pride of Barbados. I just haven't cut them yet. I need to get out here and cut them. So the Mexican marigold is, ooh, another one. Fertilizer. Mexican marigold is coming back in some places, and in some places it's not really coming back, and that's kind of frustrating. I mean, I've got 3 more out there, but these are supposed to be established by now. They're supposed to be here 2-3 years, and there's not supposed to be any problems. This one, I knew I'd have problems with that one, honestly. It just wasn't doing well all year. But yeah, definitely have to do some of the Mexican marigold. And this is getting a bit overgrown here too. Like, I don't even know what these are, but just a little overgrown. You can, though, see oxblood daisies. These are oxblood daisies right here coming out. Hard to see them with all this grass here. It's a little easier now. And already some tropical sage blooming, which is really cool. Love me some tropical sage. That's awesome. I'm hoping this whole area gets filled up with tropical sage, but as you can see, it's kind of thin. And this is a volunteer. I don't even know if I'm going to leave it there, but I don't know. It's working for now. Plumbagos. These are several plumbagos, a line of them here. These are esperanzas. The esperanzas I've grown from cuttings. So I've had many, many, many esperanzas in this yard. Some of them work, some of them don't. The ones that don't work, or the ones that work, the one that worked, all the others have died from freeze or drought or whatever. I took cuttings of it, and it is a constantly blooming, very tough esperanza. So that's it right there. That's the tough one. And I've got a lot of cuttings of this bad boy all over in Houston and here. Milkweed. A little bit of milkweed action going on here. A little bit of milkweed over here. I mean, the milkweed should be coming up native by now, but yeah, milkweed's really funny. It's hard to grow here. Even the native stuff's hard to grow. Sweet almond verbena. I'm pulling this out this year. It's just not a good spot. I thought it would be, but it's just not. And Greg's Mistflower. You can kind of see a little bit of blooms on the Greg's Mistflower there. There. I think that's it right here. Love that milkweed. Love, love, love. And then more milkweed over here. These are tuberoses. The one I just showed you is antelope horns, and these are Slepius tuberosa, or whatever it is. This is a dwarf Yopon holly. And you can see that, well, I sheared it back several years ago. It was all dead and dying, and it was way overgrown. So, yeah, this is like 8 years worth of growth. I mean, it does grow super slow. Lots of pollinators in here. So many, it's crazy. This is grass, muley grass. Gosh, which one is this? Bamboo muley. This is bamboo muley, and it will get tall. You know, it died in the freeze. It made it through last year's freeze, but this year's freeze got it. So it will come back. It's a grass. Succulent garden. Succulent garden's actually looking pretty good. It's too bad that we're going to take these and sell them all. But we're going to sell these at the farmer's market for the girls. Not all of them, but many of them. I would say 80% of them are going to be sold, and then I'll keep a little bit to grow back here. Here's the new succulent garden. Trying to grow some new succulents right here. They're doing pretty well so far. I gotta get that thing out. That'll block the sun. Yeah, they're doing pretty well so far. Got a whole bunch of new ones in there. Exciting. So this Japanese boxwood here, this thing is a monster. And I'm almost wondering if it's starting to die too, because there's some dead up there. But all the boxwoods are having issues. It's a huge, beautiful shrub, and it was I mean like 2 feet tall when I moved in. So it's looking pretty good there. And over here, walking out the path, driveway. So I planted lamb's quarter or something like that here, and it's really come up pretty strong, heavy. Okay, whatever, it's edible, but I've never had it before, so not sure what to expect there. Sweet almond verbena. This stuff is a monster. It's getting so big, and it really smells good here, so I'm definitely going to keep it here even though it's getting big. Crepe myrtle, toast. Crepe myrtle's gone. These are my aphid sources right here. I don't even like crepe myrtles. People think that crepe myrtles are native. Crepe myrtles are native of China. They are not native to Texas. And yes, they bloom and everything, but put a Texas native in. Another mountain laurel. This guy's huge, huge. I mean, I planted this thing 6-7 years ago, and it was a stick. Another canyon sage, Salvia microphylla. Need to clean that up a little bit. And here is awesome, awesome sauce. I love this. This is my office. I work out here. You see that bench right there? People can't see me back here a lot. It's very well screened on purpose. I've put in various blockages for sight lines, and you can see look how dark it is under here. Looks so pretty. It's so awesome. And I couldn't ask for anything better. I get to work under here all the time. I have a little bit of a view. This is my view when I'm working. I mean, I don't always sit here, but I can. And I sit under here for a lot of celestial events. Like if there's an eclipse or something, this is a great place to sit under here. Obviously you don't look up, but it's a great place to be shielded from the light and just hang out and watch it. So you can see things are strategically placed. That Yucca rostrata is a traffic block there, as is this tree. So there's a lot of things that are strategically placed for sight lines. See there's cars come right there. Cars come behind me. Cars can't see me behind me. That's done on purpose, very much on purpose. All those Texas sage. Look, here's a car driving up right now. Driving up, and we're out of view. Perfect. Exactly how I want it.